I was mildly interested with the Imperialis Militia document coming out for Horus Heresy 3.0, but as you might imagine, most of my focus has been on the Legions portion of the release. I was mildly interested mostly in the thought that I could use some of my large numbers of Imperial Guard for Horus Heresy, maybe just a couple units, and even then I wasn't expecting much from the document. Boy, was I wrong. Imagine my surprise when I get to the first real page and I see all the options. I've heard time and again that no one plays Horus Heresy for the normal humans. It's all about the Space Marines. Which is fine, until you see the full level of customization and modeling potential they've opened up with this document, all for those mere humans. I'm a long-time Warhammer player, going back over 20 years now. I remember the customization allowed in the Imperial Guard 3rd edition of Warhammer 40k, some of the unique and characterful upgrades you could make, which gave the Guard far more of a customizable force than the Space Marines, and this document delivers that in spades. There are 19 different provenances of war that you can take, and you can combine up to 2 of them. If you have a planetary overlord in your army, basically the high command option for the militia. Mixing and matching can give you a ton of cool combos, but more importantly, it gives you a way to make the force your own, or to take existing Warhammer 40k armies and port them into the Horus Heresy. After reading through this document, I had a ton of interesting ideas for what I could do with it, so let's dive in. Right out of the gate, they have Abhuman Muster, which is a way to open up Loyalist or Heretic Beastmen, and it doesn't limit you to Beastmen either, calling them just the most common. This gives you a blanket +1 strength across your army, so you can easily substitute in the muscle-bound Goliath from Necromunda, or something similar, and that's only one of the 2 provenances as well. Even more interesting to me is dropping much further down in the roster to the Kinfolk Helots, which is basically squats or leagues of Votann. You get +1 toughness across your entire army at a loss of movement and initiative, but you can also do exosuits and take industrial weapons, essentially rock saws and drills. This is fantastic not only in the customizing options it opens up for you, but also that you can essentially transplant a Leagues of Votann army down to 40k with some modifications to their squad layout. Or you can take squad prospectors from Necromunda and bring a few squads, or even a whole army of them to fight it out. That ties directly into another provenance of war, the Industrial Levy, which opens up a heavy industrial weapon, mining lasers, seismic cannons, heavy mining lasers, and heavy seismic cannons, which is fantastic if you want to make that squad army, or if you want to combine it with an Abhuman Muster and throw together a Genestealer Cult style army. The cool thing here is that there are plenty of ways to fit this into the setting, with all manner of gene-rot horrors, alien hybrids, and disfigured mutants still around from the time predating the Great Crusade. Even better, when you look at the unit entries, they have data sheets for a lot of the units from both Necromunda and Genestealer Cult armies, meaning you aren't just allowed to use these units, you're actually encouraged to do so. Another cool option is the Imperial Provosts, essentially putting together an Enforcer army, again using the Necromunda model range. This allows you to do a really cool thematic army, especially as you can build up the troops and grenadiers out of Enforcers, and then the Levy forces with Expendable can be modeled as prisoners or gangers in a Colonel Schaefer's Last Chancers sort of fashion. There's a lot of really cool options here for modeling, and again it only uses one of those provenances of war, allowing you to make them close combat or range specialists if you take one of the other options, or go an entirely different route with some other choices. Speaking of other choices, there are at least 3 viable provenances to take modern Admech Skitarii style force, doing Arms of the Messiah and Augmented Levy, or swapping one of those for cybernetic augmentation. Again, that's just an easy swap, not even taking into consideration all the modeling opportunities with kit bashing. There are some incredible ways to combine a lot of the Admech Skitarii, Imperial Guard, and Genestealer Cult kits to produce some really wicked looking infantry, and the options given in this document support all of it. That doesn't even get into the Chaos Cultists or Lost and Damned options. Debased Rabble and Tainted Flesh are the 2 obvious ones, but you could throw in Unending Horde, Feral Warriors, or any other combos to make your Chaos Cultists for your Heretic army. And these guys can be really, really cheap. Kitting out just the levies, you can get 20 of them for 80 points. Depending on your command options, you could put down several hundred in a 3,000 point game, with the only real limit being your model collection and the time you have to paint them. The Rogue Psyker, too, can add a surprising amount of punch for their point cost. There's some other options in here that I really love as well. Gene Crafted could work great for Gene Sealer Cult or for the House Escher models from Necromunda. Making units move much faster by making them light, giving them that 2-inch bonus move when they rush, isn't something to be scoffed at. The needle weapons, though, add a whole new level of interesting, not just with the pistols, but the assault needler, needle rifles, and even needle cannons. And when I see that last one, I stopped thinking about House Escher, and I started thinking about my Dark Eldar, because they have splinter cannons, which fire toxin-coated poison darts as well, and they're fast. Using some of the other combinations in here, you could port in a lot of the Dark Eldar model range, at least as far as infantry. And that got me really excited, as I haven't really enjoyed playing my Dark Eldar in a long time. Getting into some of the unit options, I'm even more excited. Mounted commanders and mounted command troops offer tremendous opportunities for modeling cool units, and it even says on the descriptions that these include animal and technological options. So running Gene Sealer Cult Bikers or Imperial Guard Cavalry or modeling combinations in here are perfectly valid. And again, since I have Dark Eldar, there's a ton of bike options between Reavers and Hellions for me to also use. The Beastmaster troop is also fantastic, and again, I'm thrilled that Games Workshop took the extra time to put this in, because it works great for the animal options from Necromunda. Each of the different gangs have options to take little critters from sump crocs to attack cannons. Having those options in here is excellent, and a great stand-in as well if I wanted to run a Beastmaster pack from the Dark Eldar. Further on in the units, they have a number of vehicles used in Necromunda kits and in the Gene Sealer Cult range, which again is awesome. You can use Goliath mining trucks, Enforcer Venators, quad bikes, all of it's in the book for you to use. This is awesome as it widens the range of what you will see in Horus Heresy, but also opens options for customization and modeling. Again, bravo Games Workshop. Fantastic. So what does all this mean to me? Well, first off, I'm going to be transitioning a significant part of my Imperial Guard from 40k to 30k. I've got a lot of it, so that's hardly an issue. One thing that does bug me is there's no Chimera, as far as I can see in Horus Heresy. It seems to be in the lore, but it's not available in any of the army lists. Same goes for the Hellhound tank, weirdly, which I have 3 of. There's some cool modeling options, and I love that I can field weapons platoons, essentially, with militia. I've already done an earlier Tiger Stripe theme for the bulk of my Cadian infantry. I'm going to follow through into my cavalry, then work on the heavy weapons teams and some other squads within my army. It's nice because for the first time in a while I'm actually excited with working through a lot of my neglected infantry, because guardsmen in 40k are, well, just sort of there, and they're weirdly strong in 10th edition with the number of shots they can put out and the impact they can have on even a squad of Marines. We'll be playing with some different options and updating and adjusting what I have to fit the era. I'm really looking forward to it, though I have to laugh because my free time right now is pretty well non-existent, and I'm adding a whole lot of hobby projects to a very full schedule. That's my thoughts. I'd love to hear what other people think. Horus Heresy 3.0 has a lot of granularity, a lot of importance on positioning, movement, use of war gear and effects, a lot more actual tactics than 30k. So adding this customization options to the mere human side makes it even more interesting for me to play. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe and all the YouTube stuff. If you want to support my channel and content, please check out my books in the links below. Thanks.